derbies was revived after 26 years. Blackburn Rovers versus Manchester United. A chance for Rovers to go top again, with Norwich playing at Liverpool tomorrow. Commentator Clive Tilsley.
The great Blackburn adventure continues with another grand occasion in football's old Lancashire heartland. Manchester United's first championship fixture at Ewood Park since 1966. And with the league leadership in Blackburn's sides again, a championship fixture is precisely what it is. This is the team that Jack Walker built, a team including 7 Kenny Dalglish signings, and a team with 6 players aged 24 or less. Like most things in this part of the world, it's been built to last. Alan Shearer was top of the summer shopping lists of both clubs. United lost out to Blackburn for his signature. Many have lost out to his goals already this season, 15 so far in just 14 games. Manchester United have scored only 16 between them. Not a problem they need telling about. It cost them the title last season. Ali Shearer's role model, Mark Hughes, is starting to score freely again. One change today, Clayton Blackmore in for Andrei Kanchelskis. Referee Mike Reid begins proceedings. Blackburn Rovers began the season as the Premier League's novelty act. Nobody knew quite what to expect from them. Everybody was curious to find out. Well, now everybody knows. A draw this afternoon will be enough to take them back to the top of the table. Whether a draw will be enough for Kenny Dalglish is another matter. His team have started well. Corner kick. It's in towards Moran, but Ince just reached it. Hendry under pressure from Bruce and hooked away by Mark Hughes deep in defence. Blackburn were a 33-1 flutter before the season started. They're now disputing second favouritism with United in most of the bookmakers' lists. The odds fixers can't find too much to choose between. Looks ever so well at the moment, Kenny Dalglish. He's with the Lancashire air. Although he grabbed a couple of days of Spanish air a week or so ago, which helps at this time of the year. But the worry lines seem to have disappeared. This is Wilcox. Wilcox's foot was very, very high then. That's what's been penalised. Steve Bruce. Looking over the head of Alan Wright for Mark Hughes. Moran is there. Wright's clearance a little wayward, but it's found a way through to Stuart Ripley, who's given it away to Brian McClare. Now Dennis Irwin. Giggs has made a good run in behind Hendry. Blocked by the legs of Bobby Mims. Sherwood. This is Mike Newell. This is Stuart Ripley. Schmeichel had to get to it. It was a full-blooded strike from the left foot of Stuart Ripley, and it fair fizzed off the surface in front of Schmeichel, and he did really well just to smuggle it round his post. Ripley has won a corner which he himself will take. Pulled back for Tim Sherwood. A rather disappointing effort from him, but an exhilarating shot from Stuart Ripley a moment earlier. Probably the biggest criticism levelled at him in his Middlesbrough days was that he didn't score enough goals. 3 already this season, almost a 4th. Part of Blackburn's plans. Shearer first to it, and he was certainly caught by Steve Bruce there. Starting to tread a fine line now, the Manchester United skipper, and he's got Mike Newell to deal with here. Sherwood trying to get forward in support. Newell might not need it! Just clipped the crossbar. He was desperately short of support, he had to go it alone. And Mike Newell, a whisker away from opening the scoring. Had Bruce backpedaling and just made space for the curling shot. Newell, who scored maybe the most important goal in recent Blackburn history, the penalty at Wembley which brought them into the Premier League. This is Mark Hughes. Paul Parker. The game's just starting to open up again a little bit now. Fatigue is bound to be a factor in the final quarter. Came off Pallister. Shearer hooked it away from Irwin. Well controlled by Jason Wilcox. 3 in support. 4 of them knew, and Pallister did really well. Tim Sherwood caught by Giggs, who cottons onto the ball and brings it turning up the temperature. Blackburn's attacks are more and more counter-attacks. Verdict has gone Manchester United's way again. Free kick which Gary Pallister takes. On by Blackmore. Ferguson trying to get in there. Sherwood getting it away. It's Blackmore on the volley! That was a hair's breadth away from being a spectacular opener from Clayton Blackmore. There was some doubt as to just where it was going to fall, and it was the wrong side of the post for him. Steve Bruce. Clayton Blackmore looking to play Kanchelskis in behind Alan Wright. Cleared by Mims. Here's Kanchelskis again. Oh, and he's won a corner. It was on Tim Sherwood before he knew it. But he is an impact player, Andrei Kanchelskis. He has pace. He has a belief in his pace and his ability, and he unsettles people. Giggs with the corner. In towards Ince, didn't quite connect. Blackmore did, and Mims made an unbelievable save. It was deflected on his way through from Clayton Blackmore. Bobby Mims, and allows himself a wry smile because somehow he kept it out. Blackmore denied again. That's in towards Steve Bruce. And Alan Wright was guarding the post. And Manchester United are getting closer and closer. Smallest man on the field, the last line of defence. It's Giggs with the corner. Pallister's there, and it just squirted off his head. And despite the appeals, another corner's been given. And Manchester United have Blackburn Rovers on the ropes here. 11 minutes remaining. Blackmore's corner. Hendry's header. Kanchelskis trying to get there. It's come for Steve Bruce. Good turn. Andrei Kanchelskis. Blackburn forcing him back. Giggs. Difficult cross. Mims did well under pressure from Ince. Hughes is underneath it. It'll come for McClare. Kept out again by Mims. Steve Bruce made space for the shot. Charged down by Tim Sherwood. Terrific action. Terrific defending. Giggs again. In towards McClare, and it's just too long. And Blackburn Rovers allow themselves an almighty side. And they've got so much to be grateful to Bobby Mims for. Really was outstanding. That was from McClare. But right at the beginning of all that, Clayton Blackmore fired in a wicked shot. Somehow it was deflected and kept out by Mims. Cowans. His last 15 minutes have been easily the most exciting period of the game. It's a match which now you don't want to end. Bruce barging into the back of Alan Shearer. But we played almost a minute of added time. Roy Wegerle. David May, the fullback's gone on, and on into space. Squeezed past Pallister, but no further. Schmeichel will see to that. Well, Blackburn Rovers return to the top of the Premier League, but not quite in the way that they would have liked. Manchester United have at least put the brakes on, and in the closing stage of the game might have done more than that. This is their 8th draw in their last 9 games, United. Clayton Blackmore came closest. They're making somebody a fortune on the pools. They're certainly the team to put your cross by at the moment. But picking a Premier League champion is just about as difficult as winning the pools. These, though, are 2 live contenders. Blackburn Rovers 0, Manchester United 0.
Now, how many sides would you think at this moment in time are viable championship contenders?
I don't know. I'm not particularly bothered. About 21 other clubs. There's only one club that's interested in me, and it's this one. And we've done very well. so far this season, and the lads have got the right desire. They never played as well today, so they're capable of playing, but they've got a result with one of the favourites to win the league title.
What's been talked about the incomings? There seems to be a tremendous spirit within the club at the moment. I know every club says that, but it seems to be something special. Is that true in your experience?
I think the lads have got on tremendously well here. There has been a lot of talk about finance. There's been more talk about Alan Shearer's financial position than anyone else. The Manchester United fans goaded him today about coming here for finance. But I can assure you, Alan Shearer would have come here before going to Manchester United if Manchester United had been in for him, and if Manchester United had offered him the same terms. So we don't have any reservations about finance bringing people here. There's other things that have contributed to that, and I think one of the things is what you've mentioned there, the lads that are already at the club and the team spirit at the club. They got on very, very well together, and you don't have a successful side unless that happens.
You don't need telling that you're not scoring enough goals, but can you identify what the problem is? Because it's lingered now, both through the end of last season and the start of this.
Well, maybe we're a football team, and maybe the pattern of a game and the type of play we have, we don't have a lot of natural goal scorers in the team, and that has got, you know, if you want to criticise our makeup, that possibly is it. And yet, in training sessions and things like that, players can score all right, but you know the real matter is on a Saturday. But they're still good enough. You know, I mean, most of the games last season we won by playing good football and not changing. And we're going to do the same this season. We're not going to change our way of playing. It is Manchester United's way.
Gary, Alec Ferguson very honest about his side's current problems, if you can call them as such.
I think that was absolutely spot on. They have got a problem scoring goals. They're not perhaps creating as much as they would like. They're very solid, but the lack of perhaps a creative player. Webby's there, but his face doesn't seem to fit. And up front, they need perhaps someone to be able to get behind defences. They've got Mark Hughes, who holds it up brilliantly, scores a few goals. Giggs will get behind people on the left, but if they had someone up with Mark there that could get behind players and score goals, which is the one thing that, as Alex said, they're lacking.
And what about Kenny? What about Blackburn here? They've had a goalless draw at Villa. They've had a goalless draw again today, Alan, against United. Will that be looked on as good or bad? Or?
Well, the point today takes them top of the table. And going into the two games, I think he'd be happy if they were undefeated in the two games. Psychologically, it's good for him, it's good for the players that they know they can compete with the best, because Villa are a formed side, Manchester United are a formed side. I think the Premier League's wide open, but I've got to make the point that if Alan Shearer had signed for Manchester United in the summer, it's quite conceivable we'd be sitting here talking about who was going to finish second.
Interesting quote that, wasn't it?